this is something I've always wondered about with white people. White people are funny in terms of like, you know, wanting to get a tan. They want to get color. Then they'll say, "Oh, look at you! You got nice color.
Yeah.
Look at the color that
getting
you
all
have."
getting all these lip injections.
Yeah.
You know,
isn't that an odd thing?
It's very contradictory.
It's totally contradictory. And the same person who's like, "Oh, look how tan you are," and then is racist to a black person. Da da da. But it's just it's this. It doesn't. If you don't like black people, then don't get a tan and stay white.
Yeah, don't look anything. Yeah. But
you know what I mean? I mean, have you ever thought of any of those sorts of contradictions or like?
I have.
Where you're sort of like, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've thought of that, and it doesn't. There's no rhyme. It doesn't make sense. Just like racism does.
Yeah.
So
at what point did you decide? I mean, you were mentioning you were starting to see people like Denzel Washington or whatever, different actors or musicians, and at what point were you like, okay, I think I want to express myself as a performer, and that feels right for me.
Well, this ties into your question about wanting me to your point about me wanting to talk about flying. So I was commercial. I had bought an airplane, went to flight school, locked myself into my bedroom, and got my did the ground school, and then got my license within 52 hours, which is not a long time.
Wow.
And so I got to I bought a Piper Cherokee, and I kept it out. I lived in Pitt Meadows, and I would fly wherever I wanted, and just for hours. And I would notice there was the pilot's restaurant I'd go up to, and that I would just have these older, because most of the men that had planes at that time were older white men.
Yeah.
And they were like, so let me ask you a question. How do you, is that your plane? And I'm like, yes, sir, that's my plane. Where did I get it? I bought it. I was just like, so,
oh my God.
I know I asked you yesterday, but again, that is your, so do you own it with anybody? No, it's mine. And they weren't rude, but it was kind of fun to me. I was like, and yeah. So anyway, we had the terrorist attacks of 9/11.
Yeah.
And I was flying commercially at the time, not physically at that moment. I was actually working on Smallville.
Okay, yeah.
And I saw these two jets fly over. What's that field out in Burnaby, just on Boundary Road? Is a sports. Then it was a sports place.
Okay. Oh yeah. That boundary in Kingsway.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where they do all that. There was supposed to be this high school, this football field for Smallville. Anyway.
Yeah.
That day 9/11 happened.
Wow.
And so if you were not, your uncle's a pilot, or your dad's a pilot, or grandfather, then somehow you just, understandably, you're not working. So it was kind of sort of like this. So my plane was grounded. I couldn't. There was, you couldn't fly because it was, all aircrafts were grounded.
Yeah.
So I said, I want to get into something else. I wanted to get into something else, and I started doing a little bit of modeling, fitness modeling,
right?
And then when I started to get into film and television, it was after my pilot dreams were kind of snuffed out, and
I just went back. So you were flying commercially?
Yeah, I was flying commercially.
Crazy.
Yeah, I was using my own plane, but I was working toward my commercial pilots. I wanted to work for either Air Canada or Air Jamaica.
Really?
Yeah.
That's where you're in your mind. You're like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was my goal.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I saved up my money. Saved up my money, and it was just the questions that I would get would be just, and they didn't, and it wasn't. These men were not. They were very friendly, but they were just very perplexed. And I guess it was a kind of a nice game. They were like, so you are you? How do you? Where do you? It was really fun.
Oh man,
I've never seen a colored pilot before.
Yeah.
But they never. Wow. Yeah. So that's how that started. 9/11 happened. Then I got into the film. I actually did did was doing with DEFCON 5.
Oh, okay.
And for many years, and that's where I learned a lot of my military expertise or whatever.
Yeah.
Just handling weapons and things like that.
Yeah.
And then just went on from there.
Just so I'm clear, that's a training ground. Or what's DEFCON 5 again?
DEFCON 5 back in the day was whenever you saw military, cops, SWAT, whatever in a film production in Vancouver, more times than not, all of those guys were DEFCON 5.
Oh.
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
We were basically guys who were training to be stunt guys. So, but DEFCON gave you access to weapons and tactics and things like that. So.
And then you and I met a long time ago, actually.
Yeah.
I think it was in 2001 when we did the first.
Yeah, that was. You were the lead.
Yeah.
And I was the baddie. I was the guy from hell that came in and called. Yeah, and it was. We
were two pretty young. I mean, I think we're still hanging in there. Our youth, right? Yeah. But we were two kind of young guys, like just trying to, kind of like I'm trying to make it. Blah,
trying to
blah.
figure it out. Yeah.
It was definitely.
I should be working on it.
So as you go along in your career, what was that like? I mean, what was your journey? Making your way up the ranks of being an actor as a black actor in Vancouver, in Canada, in the U.S., and climbing your way up, because you've been in some big movies now. I mean, Warcraft, Planet of the Apes. Give me another couple that there was that you were in.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Like these are all big like blockbusters, and I remember seeing you at Planet of the Apes. I was like, yeah, baby. Yeah. Working with Woody Harrelson. And
sweet.
Was he a nice guy?
He is wonderful. He's a very sweet guy. Yeah, I was in New York with him at the premiere, and he's just as hey Dean, how you doing? Like, he's a very nice guy.
Oh, man. See,
he's exactly as you would think he would be.
Yeah.
He's
genuine and
the guy from Cheers.
Yeah.
He's very much really nice guy. Yeah, I'm very happy that I got to work with him.
And so what's that been like? Going through that experience as a black person for the last 20 years. I mean, what's that been like?
I was very happy to be in the film industry, because in my mind, the film industry, we were all a tribe of, like musicians who are, liberal. I figured the film industry were another liberal industry.
Yeah.
But I started to find out that I am not to find out. I am a black man, but there's initially a lot of the black roles were thug number one, thug number two, junkie this, and I was like, oh, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
So I started to read roles that were, however small they were. My thing was to take an actual role, and once I'm on set, not stop talking, just talk and talk and talk, so that that sounded good. Do that, and so that my roles, because you go from actor to principal.
Yeah.
So once I got past the sixth,
then we need it back on the next day. And
because
that's cool.
Yeah, so and I did a lot of ended up doing a lot of military general, that kind of stuff. So that kind of became my thing, and I wasn't they say don't ever get typecast, but at that time I was like, you know what, this is pretty cool. This is pretty good. There's other things that I can do, but I'm happy to be any time an actor gets work. It's amazing. It's like,
it is amazing. Still to this day.
Yeah. It's like really like wow.
Yeah.
I'm always thankful for the work that I get. But it was hard because honestly I started getting up there and getting bigger roles, but then I start reading for roles, and I'd see a lot of the same black actors. Not every role I would read for would be black.
Yeah.
But when I would see a role, and there'd be just the usual, what would they call us, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
I would pay attention to that show, watch that episode, and I was like, who's that guy? It wouldn't be an actor from Vancouver. It would be.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'd be like, how the hell does this keep on happening? Why are you auditioning us? Is it
Bring
just
the regular guys that do it, and then they just go, okay, we've seen you now, and then we bring in an LA guy or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there was so there's that's a big frustration thing.
Yeah.
So, but being an actor in Vancouver everything has its issues, but I've had some really good jobs and some really good experiences. So I can't say I've experienced any racism on a film set, and that's probably why I loved. Like every time I would go to work, I was sometimes I couldn't sleep. I was so excited.
Yeah. I know, right? It is so fun. It's such a.
Everybody is, because people no one's gonna come up to me. Hey man, how you doing? Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, they're like, oh, Mr. Redman, how are you?
Yeah.
This is your like it's like I like this. Like,
Yeah.
I don't expect to be. Treat me as I want to be treated as I would treat you. And if you don't know me, just assume I'm going to treat you well.
Yeah.
Let's just
assume the best.
Yeah.
And then you've obviously also worked your way into the voiceover side of things, because we've worked on some shows together. And
every time I'm in a room, you're there. So it's this guy.
Who is this guy?
You. Every time.
That's my clone. No. I remember you did a voice on it was Chuck's Choice. Do you remember? You
yes.
Play the voice of like a
maid.
It was like an additional role they just kind of were throwing out there, like, Dean, what do you got? And then you were like, blah, 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 and it just was a hilarious, like, it was like a voice of was it a maid or a doll?
Oh, it was supposed to be a female doll, with a very contrasting voice. Yeah.
And so you and then everyone's like,
That's right.
And
that was moments before you had this creation, this idea in your head.
Okay.
Because I remember one day you said, "Hey Dean, can you just hold this thing
that's
up?"
right.
And I was
that's
like,
right.
I don't know what's going on here, but okay. And you took a photo.
Dude, I totally remember
you took
that.
a photo.
I was like, pull up this bench because I want to see if we were going to design it like this. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
and I was like, well, I know he seems like a pretty cool guy. I'm not going to ask any questions. You remember that?
I totally remember that now.
I wouldn't have done that for anybody. I was like, hey man, look, just I don't want any trouble.
Steal these cables later? What's he doing?
Yeah, well, I didn't
do Mission Impossible later.
Yeah, and so what you've done, this is it. This is it.
Man, yeah.
People can't see, but this is a wonderful studio. Fantastic.
Thanks, man. Yeah. And then you've continued on in voice, and what's that been like for you on the voice side of things to go through as a black actor? And because there's definitely not as many black voice actors in town, and so I don't know, like, what's it been like for you to go through that?
It's been hard. I mean, like, I can do many voices. I don't just do I don't just do black voices. I do all types of voices, but it just seems that that doesn't make for a.
So there's never been a show that you've been on where there's been another.
There has, but
very rarely where it's like you and one other.
Yeah, it's rare, and and
wow.
I mean, it's and that's that's how life is life.
Yeah.
But again, the voice community is another liberal, safe environment for me that I feel that I could, as we could be doing this voice forever.
I know.
Like,
forever.
I mean, like, I love. I'm when I watch a show, you probably do this too. When I watch The Sopranos. By the end of the show, I'm talking like, "What? Get the fuck out of here!" Like this, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't do it on purpose. It's just I'm like, I can use this sometime.
Yeah.
So I'm always, always full. Like my wife must think I'm just nuts, but
know, right?
she knows when I'm talking. And she knows when to it's just him and one of his weird voices. So
right,
yeah.